me be clear, this is going to be a difficult election because we've been through an incredibly difficult time as a nation. For most of the last decade, the middle class has been hurting. Families saw their incomes between 2001 and 2009 by about 5%. That's not my statistics, that's the Wall Street Journal talking. Job growth was more sluggish during that period than any time since World War II. Jobs were being shipped overseas. Parents couldn't afford to send their kids to college. Families couldn't afford to send somebody in their family to adopt. Americans were working 2, 3 jobs just to try to make ends meet. And all this culminated in the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Understand, we lost 4 million jobs in the 6 months before I took office. 750,000 a month that I was sworn in. 600,000 a month after that, 600,000 a month after that. We haven't seen anything like this since the 1930s. We lost 8 million jobs before any of my economic policies had a chance to be put into place. Now, my hope was that in this moment of crisis, we could come together and both parties would put politics aside. That we would come together to meet this once-in-a-generation challenge because although we are proud Democrats, we are prouder to be Americans. And you know, there are plenty of Republicans who feel the same way out there. But the Republican leaders in Washington, they made a different calculation. They looked around at the mess that they had made, at the mess that they had left me. And they said, boy, this is a really big mess.
It's a big mess, I told you.
And they said it's going to take a long time to fix. Unemployment's probably going to be high for a while. And in the meantime, people are going to get angry and frustrated. So maybe if we just sit on the sidelines, say no to everything, and then point our fingers at Obama and say he's to blame, they figured that maybe y'all would forget that they caused the mess in the first place, and they'd be able to ride anger all the way to election time. But Los Angeles, as I look out on this crowd, this tells me you haven't forgotten. Their whole campaign strategy is amnesia. And so you need to remember that this election is a choice between the policies that got us into this mess and the policies that are leading out of this mess. A choice between the past and the future. A choice between hope and fear. A choice between moving forward or going backwards. And I don't know about you, but I want to move forward, Trojans. I want to go forward. Now, look, I understand. It'd be one thing if the Republicans, having made this mess, you know, they went off into the desert or into some retreat somewhere. They meditated on, boy, we really screwed up. And now let's come up with some new ideas because we recognize the error of our ways. But that's not what's going on. The Republican Campaign Committee chairman promised the exact same agenda if they win back the House and if they win back the Senate. The same agenda